So I know this is super late, but I was gonna try my hand at doing a tutorial of that half updo that I had done a couple weeks ago for my supervisor's Christmas party. So what you're gonna need is a couple of these, which are my favorites, or if you have regular bobby pins, that's okay, but these do work better, especially if you have crazy, crazy long hair like I do. And a couple of little clear elastics, because no one likes to actually see your hair elastics. So just beforehand, I find it's a good idea if your hair is a little bit damp still. So I washed my hair probably like 4 or 5 hours ago, so it's still like relatively damp on like the underside. You can always finish blow drying the ends, the underside, if you really feel like you want the bottom part to be dry. But it's really good to have the top half damp at first. So let's get started. So first thing you want to do is do a bit of a side part like this. And so what you're going to be doing is a small French braid on the left hand side. So I'm going to start here and go just about to here and stop right here and then just continue with a longer braid. So I'm just going to do that now. And once you get back far enough, if you don't add hair to the bottom anymore, you're actually doing what's called a lace braid, and that allows you to go back a little bit further. And it's up to you how small pieces of hair you'd like to use. Depends on how delicate you'd like this to be. So anyway, I've gotten back to about here, and since I'm at the back of my head now, I can start just regular braiding the rest of it. So hopefully you can see that. I know it's a bit dark in my room. And if you don't know how to French braid, I'm sure I can direct you to some far more superior videos than I could probably show you. But in the meantime, just want to go all the way to the end, which if you have waist length hair, can take a little while. And the more evenly you've done this, the better, because then you can tie it off closer to the end, which is good. So. Alright, so I'm going to want to tie that sucker off. And that's first half. So once you're satisfied with this side, we can get started with the forehead side. And there's two ways that you can approach this. You can either, this is what I do sometimes when I'm having bad skin days, such as today, but I'm going to show you the harder way later. You can start French braiding after you've kind of brought your hair down a little bit. So I have no bangs, essentially. All my hair is the same length. But I can still kind of do like a fake side bangs like this. And then I would start French braiding kind of just above my or behind my ear. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to do this so that I've braided the entire forehead area, as it is a little bit harder. And you can do this with a reverse braid, but I prefer to do just a traditional French braid for this one. So again, start dividing into 3 and get started. So you're going to want to add hair from the forehead side as well as from the back. So you have to be a little bit careful since it is so close to your forehead. But it's not too bad. And I do find it works if you use smaller pieces of hair here, otherwise it kind of covers itself up. And anyway, I'm just gonna, basically you want to keep doing it this way until you get just above your left ear, whichever side you tend to part on. I always have my part on the left side of my face for reasons unknown. But anyway, so I have braided to the top of my right ear. What I'm going to do now is switch hands. So I'm going to take my left hand and put it behind my head and grab that uppermost strand. Just kind of leave that bottom one hanging loose. And now I can continue behind my head. So once you've reached behind your head, you're actually going to stop French braiding shortly. Just gonna do one more pass. And then once you're sure that you have some relatively equal amounts of hair, you're going to want to start just regular braiding down the rest of it so you're not adding hair anymore. So this side's going to be a little bit thicker than the other side. So braid all the way down. And again, this works better with wet hair because I find my hair gets a little bit frizzy, but it helps the braids stick better. Otherwise they get a little bit loose throughout the day. I don't tend to use a lot of products in my hair, so there's probably products that can get rid of that. If you've blow dried your hair, I just find personally my hair, which is dead straight, does not behave well if I blow dry it and then try to braid it afterwards. So I've gotten down to the end, and again I've gotten as close as I can to the end, because that helps to hide that loose part a little bit better, and you're just going to want to tie that off. So once you are satisfied with the 2 braids that you have, what you're going to want to make sure is that none of the hair that's underneath is attached to either of these braids. Sometimes little bits will get stuck, but you're just going to want to make sure that they're all loose and they're all hanging straight down, so you want to brush them down. I'm sure you could curl them at this point. I'm sure that would look really cool. My hair doesn't curl, so I just don't even bother trying. But once you've done that, this is the fun part. So this is when you are going to need these babies. So the first thing you're going to do is take the left-hand side smaller braid. So this is going to be, I call this like the, I would describe this as the root of the updo that you're going to be doing. So you're going to want to tuck this whole end away and make that into a little coil. You can do that usually with one of these. So I'm just going to turn around so you can see. And I'm turning this clockwise around the farthest most French braided portion. So it's nice and tight, and you want to make sure it's tight, otherwise it's going to fall out. And just hide and tuck that little end off. And then you can take one of these twirly bobby pins and just twist it in. Or if you have regular ones, I just never really mastered regular bobby pins, but anyway. So that is stuck and in there. It looks a bit silly right now, but it's going to be fixed in a second. So again, this looks really complicated, but I swear it's not. So what you're going to do next is you're taking this part and you're going to be wrapping it around the other side. So that's why it looks kind of hard, but it's not. So again, you want to make sure that this hair is out of the way, and you can always blow dry it later. I probably should have, but whatever. So I'm going to turn around, and I'm taking this braid, pulling it across the left-hand side, wrapping it around the previous base braid. Now, as hopefully you can see, I'm tucking the elastic band end just under itself, so you can't see it anymore. I'm going to grab 1 or 2 of these and just anchor that. And there you go. So hopefully you can see how I did that. I've got all my hair out of the way, and this, I really like this because my hair doesn't get in my face. But I swear this is easier than it looks, and again, you want to make sure that you've hidden the elastic away, but hopefully that helps. I'm going to try doing the crown braid ones once I've picked up a few more good bobby pins, since I don't seem to have a lot here in my house in Calgary, so that might be next week. But hope that helped a little bit. Cheers.